everybody, it's Eden. Did you know that chickens are the #1 farm product raised in Kentucky? More money comes to the state from the sale of these birds. Turkeys are also raised in Kentucky. We're going to visit 2 farms today to learn more. Come on! This is Todd Clark of Clark Family Farms in Lexington. He and his family sell beef cattle, chickens, eggs, and turkeys to sell to local customers. Hi, Mr. Clark. I would like to see your turkeys first because it's almost Thanksgiving, and at my house we always eat a turkey. Will these turkeys become someone's Thanksgiving dinner?
Eden, they will become someone's Thanksgiving dinner. The journey the turkeys have been on started 16 weeks ago when they were delivered to me in the mail. And since then we've had them here on pasture, where they get about half of their diet off of the pasture and the other half off of the grains that we feed them in their feeders.
Mr. Clark explained that the turkeys behind us were about 4 months old and almost ready to leave the farm to become a Thanksgiving turkey. Each bird weighs between 15 and 20 pounds when it leaves the farm. That is quite a bit bigger than a chicken, which only weighs 3 to 4 pounds. I saw that some turkeys were white and some were black, but Mr. Clark told me there was no other difference than the color of their feathers. The turkeys are not hatched from eggs on the farm. Mr. Clark actually ordered 250 baby turkeys from a hatchery, and he had to pick them up at the post office. These turkeys were moved around on pasture so they could eat the grass and insects in addition to a special diet of corn, soybeans, vitamins, and minerals. They were also given lots of water. Next we went and took a look at Mr. Clark's chickens that are raised to lay eggs and for meat. They are kept in small houses to keep them safe from predators like foxes, hawks, and raccoons. The houses do not have floors, so they can be moved around the pasture. Like the turkeys, the chickens also like to eat the grasses and insects. What kind of chickens are these? I don't see any laying boxes.
That's a good observation, Eden. These are different from the laying hens. These are producers of meat, and so these chickens are what we eat for dinner. These will be only for meat production. These are Freedom Rangers is the name of the red ones. Would you like to see the different kind of chickens that we also raise for meat?
Sure.
These are Cornish Rock chickens, and these are 6 weeks old. And so these were purchased when they were 1 day old and received in the mail also. And so 6 weeks later, this is what they look like.
You said you raised chickens, eggs, and turkeys for local families. Could you raise enough for Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants?
As much as I would like to supply the Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants in Kentucky, I'll probably have to leave that to people with larger houses and different means of raising the chickens than the way I do it.
Thanks for having me. I really did have a good time and I learned so much about chickens and turkeys.
Thanks for coming, Eden. I had a great time too. Have you had lunch?
No.
Well, let's go eat.
Yeah, that sounds good. We enjoyed some lunch and I found out that the fast food industry serves more than 2 billion chickens to its customers each year. To see how farmers supply that many chickens to restaurants, we needed to visit a different kind of chicken farm. There are about 800 large-scale poultry farms in our state, raising 320 million birds per year. Chickens are actually the #1 farm product and #1 food product in Kentucky. They bring in about $900 million to the state each year. The chickens also eat about 1/3 of the corn and soybeans grown by our Kentucky farmers. Now we are visiting 4E Farms in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Mr. Flanagan and his family raise chickens in houses so they can grow enough chickens for bigger markets like chain restaurants and grocery stores.
Well, come in, Eden.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Good.
Thanks for coming to our farm.
Well, you're quite welcome. Could you tell us a little more about your farm?
Well, sure. We're right now in a part of our chicken operation, but let me share with you just a little bit about our farming operation. My wife and my 2 sons and I started this farming operation about 35 years ago, and we grew tobacco and grain for many, many years. And then about 11 years ago, we started our chicken operation, and we started out with 4 chicken houses, And then about 4 years later, we built 2 more, and we now have 6 chicken houses on our farming operation. Here we are walking inside the chicken house.
Wow.
See all these chickens here eating?
Yeah.
These are the water lines. All the chickens have access to water anytime they want it. Those are the feed lines right there that the chickens can have feed, good clean feed, anytime that they would like to have it. And you can feel the air that's blowing over us. They have fresh air coming in all the time. It keeps them good and fresh air all the time.
This looks like a sea of chickens. How many are in here?
Well, this is a very full house of chickens because they're old enough that they're getting ready to be taken out even tonight. But there's about 22,000 chickens in here. We usually have from 21 to 23,000 is about the number of chickens that we have in each house.
How old are the chickens?
Well, these chickens right now are about 52 days old. We get the chickens when they're born, the day that they're born, and they bring them in here, and they're just, if you were to see it then, it'd just be like a little sea of yellow. You've seen the little baby chick, haven't you? And then as they grow, they get bigger and they spread out over the whole building. That's about how long we keep them, is about 52 to 53 days each flock.
It was so interesting to compare Mr. Flanagan's farm with Mr. Clark's. Mr. Flanagan's chickens were in special houses where the temperature is controlled at all times and the food is provided automatically throughout the day. Equipment in the control room makes sure everything is running the way it is supposed to. While Mr. Clark's chickens get to eat grasses, both farmers feed their chickens a special feed of corn and soybeans to help them grow. I also learned that the chicken's poop was very important to both farmers, since it is full of nutrients that are good for plants. The chickens on Mr. Clark's farm leave their poop directly on the pasture to help it grow for the following crops of chickens. On Mr. Flanagan's farm, they scoop out the chicken poop and bedding to spread on his corn, wheat, and soybean field. This keeps both farmers from having to buy expensive fertilizers. Mr. Flanagan, thank you so much for showing us how you care for your chickens.
Well, thank you, young lady, for coming. It's always good to have young people come and visit us, and I hope that you eat more chicken.
It was an honor meeting you.
Thank you.
The next time you visit a Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant or a grocery store, think about how the chicken got there. It probably came from a farm, just like this one. And don't forget, if you want to help support your local farmers, you can always buy chicken and turkeys from farms a lot like Mr. Clark's. Happy eating!